long time no vlogging, and I decided to vlog today and tomorrow and Thursday. So today's Tuesday. Logic. So I'm gonna vlog because it's IB exams, and for these 2 days, for the next 2 days, I'll be having IB literature exam, HL, higher level. For those who don't know, IB exams are basically like AP exams, but different. So instead of a multiple choice portion and then like an essay portion, we have analysis. So they'll give us 2 texts and then we have to analyze them, and then they'll give us like 2, we have to analyze them, and then the next day it's going to be, here's a prompt, you have to remember shit from the books you read these past 2 years and write about that. Some people are memorizing quotes. We're not about that. I'm too lazy for that. But we are going to review the books, and I'm going to do that by reading the books. I'm not sure what 3 books, because you can choose to study like 2, but it's best to have 3 for safety reasons. I'll explain later. But basically, since preparation starts the night before, I said I'll vlog what I'm doing to prepare. So right now, I'm gonna get a few of the books I read last year and this year for English. I have Slouching Towards Bethlehem, the essay collection by Joan Didion, on my computer, so I'll be annotating there and taking notes. Then I'll see if I can find The Yellow Wallpaper and other assorted short stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. And then I need a third one, because I was going to do RUR, which is a play by Karl Čapek, but I did an essay on that one, which is also part of the IB exam. Again, I'll explain the structure a little bit more tomorrow morning since I'm starting school later. I usually only have time. But basically, if you do a text for a different part of the exam, you can't use it again. So I might just use The Tempest by Shakespeare, obviously. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to start with those first 2 texts. And basically, I'm just going to be rereading some, because it's a collection. Both of them are collections. So I'm just going to read like 3 of the pieces in them and take notes on the different themes and quotes and stuff. And, So I'm going to do that. Hey, so we're looking real grainy right now because the light is shit and my phone's compensating. Currently reading Charlotte Perkins Gilman, The Yellow Wallpaper. So I'm going to probably read The Yellow Wallpaper, obviously. That's the short story where she goes slowly insane while looking at, you guessed it, The Yellow Wallpaper. Then there's also a short story, like 2 pages, where it's about, like, not double standards, but, like, the stupid standards. Priorities when it comes to standards for women, which I feel like has some good themes, but I don't know if it's too limited in its themes, because I don't know what the themes are going to be. So I might find something different too. The rocking chair is good. Okay, so I'll do the rocking chair is long though. So I'll look at Mrs. Beasley's Deeds, the rocking chair, and the yellow wallpaper. They're all kind of long, but they're also really, really complex and good for, like, writing an analysis of. And again, this isn't the only book I'm reading. I'm reading 2 more for this, so it'll be fine. And the teacher did say to read 3 short stories per short story/essay book. So I think this will work. And I just had a break. I had my dinner, and that's good. So I'm just going to start off by rereading The Yellow Wallpaper. I remember that one pretty well because may or may not have been looking at memes about that one. There's a lot. I recommend reading it and then looking at the memes. It's really funny. But yeah, I remember that one. The rocking chair, I kind of remember, because that's near the beginning of the unit last year, so I actually did read these. And then Mrs. Beasley's Deeds, I did not read the first time, so I'm going to have to read that again. But I vaguely remember what it's about, and I think it was a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read those and either get back to you or see you tomorrow morning. I don't know how this will go. Yeah. Okay, so it's the next morning now, and the glare on my glasses is insane, but I need to see. So, anyway, I'm going to school later today because I'm skipping my speech and debate class to go straight to physiology and anatomy because I wanted to not wake up at 5:30 for once. So instead I woke up at 5:40 and couldn't fall asleep again, but it's fine. Got dressed. I feel pretty cute today. Kind of goblin core, Anyway, so right now, what's gonna happen today for exam purposes is I'm gonna go to my first class. It's all gonna be fine. I'm gonna have nutrition break with my friends and stuff. Then I'm gonna have to leave halfway through math. But the cool thing is, my math teacher is the IB director, so he's probably gonna have to leave too anyway. So that's cool. And basically everyone in that class is taking the exam. So it's chill. I don't have to actually ask anyone to do anything. I just leave. And then what I'm gonna do today is I think I mentioned it in the last clip, but it's basically gonna be, here's 2 texts, analyze them in 2 hours and 15 minutes, write 2 not interpretations, not critiques, but just basically 2 little mini essays about the prompt. And apparently we're allowed to interpret the prompt, so if it's like, oh, talk about a place of home or something, right? Apparently we're gonna be like, okay, well, this person's home is not a place, but a person, like that kind of thing. So that's fun. From what I understand, we're not graded by getting points deducted if we're wrong. We just get more points if we get stuff right. So I'm just gonna word vomit on the paper and hope I get the points. So today's pretty easy, but then throughout the day, before and after, because after I have history still, I think. Yeah, I'm just missing lunch. It's fine, I'll eat before. But then for tomorrow, I'm gonna have to study by reading the books and stuff. So I chose Gilman's book, The Yellow Wallpaper. I'm reading An Extinct Angel from that one. It's like 2 or 3 pages. It's pretty short and really easy and interesting. I already reread The Yellow Wallpaper, and then I'm probably gonna use, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like 2 pages, so I'm gonna do that one. So I chose a long one and 2 short ones. And then I'm gonna go with The Tempest. It's like pretty easy, and I have a digital version, so I can like do that there, and it's easier. So, and then of course, as I was gonna do, I'm gonna do Didion's book, so with the essays and stuff. I can talk more about those books later in this vlog. But anyway, right now, waiting to eat breakfast, oatmeal, because gotta eat nutritious for exam day. And I'm probably gonna watch some TV because my brain needs a break. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. We are going to school now, so I'll see you guys when I get there. Just a little update. There's like a sheep head over there. What is that? Hey, so we're back in the car. And I just had my exam. Like, it just ended not even 10 minutes ago. No. Yeah. Technically didn't end 10 minutes ago, but we left the exam building like 10 minutes ago. And it went well, I think. Because as I explained for the format, you have 2 essays you have to write based on 2 different passages. First one was actually enjoyable to read. Like, I liked reading it. I want to read more, but it's a play, so I guess watch it. Whatever. Related to the character a lot. We were supposed to analyze the character, and I'm like, oh, that's me, bestie. That's me. Because bro kept, like, interrupting himself, being like, oh, wait, no, there's more context for this. And I'm like, slay. I cannot tell a story linearly to save my life. I think I smudged my liner when I was, like, upset, but you know what? It's fine, it's fine. So then what happened else? Second text was about the setting. And it was like, oh, how does the author make this, like, mysterious and suspenseful? I'm like, this does not feel suspenseful. Like, I don't know. The prompt writers were tripping. It's not suspenseful, it's just, like, existing. I don't know, it was so bland. But in the end, I was like, oh, she, uses the unknown, darkness, and familiarity to make the unknown more unknown. I don't fucking know what I wrote. But I wrote something, and I finished it in the time allowed, meaning that I at least got a point. So we're good for that. And right now what's happening is that I have to leave school, pick my sister up, and drive back to school for debate, all while my brain is at like 2% function. So, you know, but at least we're doing it while being pretty. I'm so happy. This is like a little pine cone. It's so cute. I love my outfit right now. It's like, this is me. And maybe if my parents let me cut my hair the way I want to, that'd be great too. Anyway, gonna pick my sister up. And yeah, time to be smart in debate. The thing for debate is I can't just ditch, even though I would love to, because the way we're doing it, we're recruiting a bunch of outsiders and then competing within ourselves. So I know I put up a vlog last debate tournament. That was our last real tournament, but this is a scrimmage, which is different. And basically, I can't ditch because I'm the only varsity member in our little group. So who else is gonna guide and teach them, huh? Also, I'm so sorry. My eye is like, I'm so tired. I cannot keep my eye undrifted. So we're gonna get drifty eye right now. So yeah, see you guys later. So I'm home and I'm gonna do some homework right now. I don't have a lot, technically speaking. Also, bro, like, look at, you guys can't see a lot, but this, it's smeared so much because when I crease my eye, I have like hooded eyes kind of, so it like creases here. Anyway, it's really irritating. Oh yeah, I have it here too. Anyway, right now, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my homework, which is just make a debate case on self-defense laws in the U.S. because we're normal children who do normal things for fun. Fun, I say, while suffering internally. And then I have to study for the exam tomorrow. And I'll say more about how I'm studying as I did yesterday when I actually get to it. Sup, I'm doing so many peace signs this video, but it's fine. Okay, so right now what's going on is that I am continuing my little study sesh. That felt disgusting to say. I am continuing to study, proceeding with my education on the topic of English literature. I don't fucking know. Okay, sorry. I was trying to think of how to say the fancier, but whatever. I'm just studying. I continue to study. Also, do you guys like my shrug? I love my shrug. It has mushrooms on it. It's so cute. Like, look at the sleeves. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm studying right now. Or I'm starting to study because I just finished my homework. I actually kind of enjoyed making the debate case because it was about something I wanted to do a thing about for a while. I don't know. I'm being kind of vague because I don't know. I feel weird about talking about it here, but basically it was like about a topic that I feel really strongly about. And I've always wanted a chance to debate it, and since I already had my last tournament, I thought, hey, at least I can do it in this class assignment spar debate thingy. So right now what's going on is that, and again, as I said yesterday, or in the last day's clips, I'm just gonna like reread some of the stuff that we read, and then look at some themes and moments where I can like look back on them. And the idea is to kind of create like a study cheat sheet, and then kind of throughout the day tomorrow before the exam, before 1 p.m., I'll be reviewing the stuff that I want to include. And that actually reminded me of a joke I saw, and I thought I'd share it with you guys because, well, what the hell else do I talk about in these vlogs, right? So, these two guys are like, oh, the technology now, we can't cheat, right? So, they can't, like, sneak papers with the answers in the class or anything. Also, I never understood that, like, the best you're gonna do is you're gonna put the formulas in, but you're still gonna have to, like, you're still gonna have to learn how to use the formulas, like, whatever. So basically the two guys are like, oh, how do we do this? And this one guy, he's like a genius, right? He has an idea, and he's like, oh, what if, okay, we create the cheat sheet, and we memorize the cheat sheet, and then the cheat sheet is in our heads, and then they can't take away the cheat sheet, and they won't see us using the cheat sheet. And the other guy goes like, dude, that's just studying. So basically what I'm doing right now is creating a cheat sheet to put in my head. Legal cheating? I don't know. Basically, it's quite fun. So my eye has been drifting all freaking day. It's so annoying when I'm trying to, like, read. Yeah, see? Okay, whatever. I can't be bothered right now. Okay. Okay, now I can, like, actually function. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do my little cheat sheet thingamajigget and get back to you guys. Right now I'm still reading through Gilman's The Yellow Wallpaper Collection. I did already kind of start reading through Didion's essay, kind of, because I need 3 right now. I already read through 1. The thing is, I feel like I'm focusing too much on one theme, and it's gonna be, like, something entirely different. I'm gonna be like, oh no. Or, like, I'm gonna think of something that fits better instead. That'd be fun. because basically what this can be, it's gonna be like, oh, write about the idea of home in two of the works you studied, right? And then I have to compare and contrast them. And what that means is like, for example, let's say we get home for sake of the argument. So what I'm reviewing is Gilman, The Tempest, and Didion's essays. Honestly, okay, those could fit. But let's just say I have a brain fart in the middle of the exam. I'm like, you know what? What if I just use Baron in the Trees? And I don't know why I would do that. I didn't read the book, but theoretically. And then I would be like, yeah, I'm just going to use this other book. Because, like, it fits better. I would not have studied that book. And I have not, read that book exactly. So I would not have any moments to use. So I'm really worried I'm, focusing on the wrong things. But, also if it is home, I can be like, oh, in the yellow wallpaper, the home is the room with the wallpaper and it represents being trapped in society or something. And then I can be like, oh, in The Tempest, the island is technically a home or something. Or I can explore the idea that oh shit, I need to know the names of the characters, huh? The guy, I don't remember the guy's name, but his daughter's Miranda. What is the guy's name? Anyway, I can be like, oh yeah, the guy, the wizard dude, he left his home, right? To come to this island that he wanted to make home, but it's not. Oh, Prospero. His name is Prospero. I'm dumb. I can be like, oh yeah, he left his home to come to this other island, but it's home for his daughter or something. I could BS my own, thing, right? Okay, you know what? I feel like this could help someone in the future who's doing an IB exam for English, so we're gonna go through these. I have RUR still written, and I can't do that because I use it for my essay. How tragic. Tempest. Okay, cool. So, for example, if we have home, right? We're gonna do that. If we have gender inequality, which is kind of accidentally the works I'm focusing on, we have the character of Miranda in The Tempest, and if you guys have read The Tempest, basically she's kind of treated as ditzy, because she kind of is, but also Shakespeare does use a bit of satire, because when does he not? When discussing her character, and it's kind of you know how Juliet in Romeo and Juliet is really young, and there's a lot of intentional irony with how she's written. Yeah, he wasn't a creep. He was doing that on purpose, supposedly. Basically, it's kind of like that with Miranda. Just recurring tropes in Shakespeare stuff. So she's she's young, naive, and she's like, oh my gosh, I just met this guy, and he's the first guy I ever met besides my dad and his slave, so I'm gonna marry him. So yeah, she's kind of like that kind of girl, and it's gonna be oh, and then Prosper was like, oh, just don't, have intercourse with my daughter before marriage or something. So basically, what I have here is traditional values, oh, the woman's only good if she's pure, whereas the prince's name. Prince's name is Ferdinand, and Ferdinand's kind of oh, I'm such a playboy, blah blah blah. So double standards. Then if we have gender inequality in Gilman's, the yellow wallpaper, that's obvious. She's trapped in a room because she's a woman with postpartum depression. And then in the same collection, I could also use an extinct angel, which is a 2-page thingamabobbit, where she's just oh, what if we have this extended symbol metaphor thing? Metaphor, it's an extended metaphor for women, right? But we call them angels. And that's going to make it really seem absurd because we're beating up these angels. That kind of thing. Let's see what other. You know what? I'm going to end this clip and I'm going to come back and I'm going to have some example prompts and I'm going to reason through how I would do those. One, because it helps me think about this out loud and also helps me think about how much I actually remember. And two, because maybe it'll help some of you guys in the future. See you guys in a second. So I'm a lot less prepared than I thought. Cool, let's go through these. So first question. So this is from past exams, and this is from May 2011. I was in first grade. This is old. I'm old. Anyway. The thing is, from what I understand, kind of the concept for the paper 2 exam, because IB exams, paper 1, paper 2, be good. For history, 3 papers, it varies. 3. For English, it's paper 1, paper 2. So for paper 2, the format, from what I understand, is like the idea of what we're doing this year is kind of new. So I don't think 2011 will be that helpful. But it's what we got, so we're going with it. Question. Sometimes narrators tell their story in a non-linear fashion. How and why do two literary works tell their stories in a non-linear fashion? So for this would be ideal to use the book I did not read. Like, actually did not read, not like didn't read because I didn't want to do homework. Like, no, I actually had reasons not to read, and I switched out for a different book that I can't use. God of Small Things, because that one kind of time skips a little, and the purpose of that would have been to, like, sorry, my brain is being weird. Purpose of that there was kind of to show context, and then also to show, like, present day, and kind of, like, help the reader piece together what's happening. It was more about the author, but whatever, there's issues with that book. The second text, I want to say Murakami's book, The Wild Sheep Chase, that we read last year. That one was insane, by the way. I do recommend it if you want, like, a fun read, just because, like, you can torture yourself. Wouldn't recommend it if you're actually going to study it, though, because then you actually take all the fun out of it. Point is, that book, I don't know if it was linear or not, but I do feel like the time was a little weird in that one. I don't remember it very well. I probably should, like, recap it. I have it. I own it. But basically, I would use those two texts. And then when it asks the why, I mean, obviously it's going to be, like, for Roy's book. I don't remember her first name. It would be, like, to help the reader piece together the past and the future, past and the present, I mean, and then kind of promote her ideas or something. And then for Murakami's book, I really don't know why he did it. I think it was just because he was, like, drunk or high or something and wanted to make the book as confusing as possible. But I wouldn't do either of those, so if I get that question, I'm screwed. But from what I understand from most IB exams, you can choose out of multiple options. I would hope that's true from this one. We'll see. Okay, next question. Literature is often said to be timeless. To what extent is this true of two literary works? See, my first thought was to use Oyeyemi's book, What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours, which is a collection of short stories, but I used that one for my oral examination, which is where I, like, talk about books, so I can't do that. Timeless. The thing is, this does require me, I feel like, to use outside knowledge. Good thing I have a lot of that. I would use Gilman, because Gilman, and I would use the yellow wallpaper from Gilman and be like, oh, she's not being diagnosed with the thing that's actually wrong with her. Like, she's saying, like, oh no, I don't feel good, and the people are like, you're fine, right? You know what's happened in the modern world? Girls be going undiagnosed with so many things. So, that's what I would do there. And then a different one would be... I still feel like the double standards I was talking about earlier with Miranda from The Tempest still do apply. Because you know when, like, a girl's a virgin, it's like, why? And then when she's not, it's like, you whore, right? So that's a double standard. But then if a guy is, like, a playboy, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, supposedly. So I feel like that could be discussed. I really don't understand what this question wants, because I feel like it's weird for it to want us to use outside information. But, like, at the same time, isn't, like, IB English technically all about that? I don't know. Basically, that's how I'd argue it. I would so info dump about, like, undiagnosed women with stuff. But anyway, that's how I would do that, I think. Okay, work together or stand on your own 2 feet. How do two literary works comment on collaboration or independence? Okay, so for this, I would use Didion's essay, Where the Kissing Never Stops, about Joan Baez. I was Joan Didion writing about Joan Baez. Nice. Same name, girlies. Because there she talks about the guy... I don't remember his name. He's in my little study sheet. Let me find him. It's... Oh my gosh. Ira Sandpearl, sorry. So he and Joan Baez collaborated where he kind of controlled her. And she did not have independence in this collaboration, not much anyway, because he did kind of speak for her in a few interviews. So I'll use that text as my first one. And then as my other text, I think honestly the Tempest and the relationship between Caliban, that's Prospero's slave, and Prospero and Ariel, that's another dude. He's my favorite character in the whole thing. Because I think a cool thing there is that there is a difference between how Ariel and Caliban are treated, even though they're both technically slaves. And I do think it's interesting to comment on that because Ariel does not show a lot of independence. Therefore, he gets treated with more collaboration. It's mostly fake, but you know. But then Caliban's like, oh, F you, I'm like better than you. Well, not better than you. I'm like my own person. Wording matters. So I feel like he did not get a lot of collaboration. He just got told what to do instead. The result was the same for both, but the way Prospero treated each of them was different, and I feel like it could be linked to how independently they acted. I don't know. I kind of go that direction. And then final one for this little thingamajigget, how is belief or faith represented in two literary works? What, according to these works, is the significance of belief or faith? You know what? If that was one of my options, I just wouldn't choose that one. Now let me pick your battles. Because, okay, this doesn't have to be about religion, right? The big thing about IB exams, you get to interpret this however the hell you want. So if we're saying literature, like timeless, I could just say time is a social construct. And if I defend this idea well enough, they probably would still give me points. So it doesn't have to be about religion. So it could be about a thing that they believe that isn't religion, right? And what's a thing that people believe in? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm thinking of right now is, again... Oh, okay, you know what, actually, I could bring this to religion. In An Extinct Angel by Gilman, she does draw on religion with the whole angels thing, because she's like, oh, the humans are allowed to beat the angels with a stick no thicker than their thumb, right? Okay, so I was gonna do the clip yesterday, right? And I was talking. And what you guys gotta know is, I think I mentioned it before in this vlog, but not this vlog specifically, but this channel, I have limited phone time. And what happened was that I'm talking, and my phone's like, bye-bye, no more time for you, see you later. So I'm back now. I did study. I went downstairs then to talk with my parents, or my mom and my sister more like, about the different prompts and like what I would say. And I think I'm prepared. Basically the whole idea is like, do I know these texts well enough to BS something out of them? And I think I do. So we'll see. I'm going for like a darker look today. Yesterday was more like cottage core, goblin core, something like that. Anyway, so we're going like off the shoulder, owls. I love owls a normal amount, I promise. This isn't my only owl necklace, and I have 2 owl candles, little owl figurine thingy, owl plushie, owl bed sheets. I love owls. A normal amount. So right now we're going. Today's an easy day. I just have psychology and then English. We're not gonna do shit in English because, I mean, it's the exam today. What's he going? No, the teacher might make something. We'll see. And then before that, I have debate. So let's go downstairs so I can eat food. Oh, and then also, since I think I'm driving myself today, I'm gonna try to get out a little early out of the house so I can like have a little car chat because those are fun.
Or go to other classrooms for other teachers that you might have a reason to go to. Okay, so I'm just going to sit right up here and that's all for now.
Okay, so it's over. Sorry, that was like, I know I needed to vlog, and I turned on the camera, but then I realized my brain does not wait. I'm back. Sorry, I had to scare a friend because she was walking past the car, and I was like, "Hey!" And like shouted her name, and then she got startled. But it's fine. Basically, exam just ended. So the way it worked is that we got 4 prompts, and it was like, oh, there's the thing. How does the author use the thing in 2 of the books you read in class? Yeah, one of the, sorry, again, my brain is so melted, it's more melted than water. And basically, one of the prompts was like, oh, how do authors, like, write about society? And I'm just like, it's almost as if this is, like, built for the class we took, because the teacher I have loves talking about society. It's the most, like, annoying shit ever sometimes. But it did help on the exam, so I guess it's, like, really helpful shit. Sorry. And basically, I was like, oh, Shakespeare talks about, like, gender double standards, women being underestimated, and slaves and stuff. I do think I talked about it a little bit, actually, when I was talking about it a little last yesterday. Yesterday. And I was like, oh yeah, Caliban represents, like, slaves and indigenous people who are being enslaved, etc., etc. So that was good. And then for the second text, I was like, Charlotte Perkins Gilman wrote about women's struggles and how they're oppressed by society, double standards, underestimated, and I'm just like, cool. And then how are they alike and different? They're alike because same issues. They're different because different genres. And then also, like, more stuff. Obviously, it's not all I wrote. Please don't just, like, write, oh, different genres for your thing. And I was like, oh, when saying that women are incapable, or, like, addressing that concept, Shakespeare is talking more about their physical capabilities or lack thereof versus Gilman talking more about their mental capabilities. And then for, like, the disadvantaged in society, it's like slaves versus women, or more specifically wives. And then for double standards, I was like, Shakespeare writes about youth and premarital life versus Gilman, who focuses more on, like, marriage and, like, life after that. Sorry, my necklace is, like, hidden by this little turtleneck. So that's kind of the direction I went with that. You know what? Even if I failed, at least I looked pretty doing it. Come on, I got owls. Got comfy sweater, turtleneck. You know, we slayed today. My lipstick looks so patchy though because the color was way too, like, bright, and it's so patchy because I, as you can see, like the genius that I am, put eyeshadow on that shit. Normal behavior for a liquid lipstick, like a gloss consistently. This is not a that shit dried so fast it was like, nice. So that didn't work. But you know what? We look cute. We wrote a thing. We slayed. I wrote. Okay, so I started and I was like, you know what? Yesterday I had like more than half an hour left over. Could I finish? I can outline this shit, right? I can outline. So I went, like, point by point. I wrote down the 3 references I needed. More than that, actually. I referenced like 6, 7, 8. Like, no, not 6. Maybe like 5 things instead of the original, like, 6 that I wanted to do. No, wait, that's stupid. I can't count. No, it would have been 8. Yeah. Okay, I referenced like 8 things. Again, brain fried. Please take everything semi-intellectual I say with a grain of salt. So, yeah. I wrote out, like, my little references, and I color-coded, because I brought a little, like, you know those pens that, like, clicky and they change color? I brought one of those and I color-coded so I know which reference I had in my brain for what thing. And then, the absolute genius that I am, I brought 2 black ink pens. Technically 3 if you count the clicky one, but that one, like, writes like shit, so I'm not counting that one. Because I started a pen yesterday, right? Yesterday, just the exam was the first time I used that pen. The ink is gone. That's how much I wrote. The ink is gone, and the only thing I used that thing for was for exams. So, that's how much I write. But then I brought a second pen, and we were good. It was, like, for the last, like, 2 sentences. But yeah. And then, so I wrote my little outline with the 2, approximately 2 references per point per text. And then I was like, okay, I have my references, and then I took up a little like answer booklet because you're allowed to like not submit some of the answer booklets, so I just did it in a spare one. And I was like, okay, intro here, just introduce the works. And point one, this is this like title concept. 2 references, what they mean. Went down the 3 little body paragraphs. 4th, compare like genres and what they used for that. And then conclusion. I did my little neat little outline. I wrote it out, and then I still finished with like 10 minutes to spare. So that's good. And then I doodled for the rest of the time because I mean, it's not like I can like backspace and delete shit, right? What am I supposed to do? Like cross it out and like rewrite it somewhere else? No. Well, I mean, yes, but no. And I feel pretty confident in what I wrote, so it's fine. So yeah, that was my test taking experience, and I guess I'm just gonna end the vlog here because we're done. So yeah, like and subscribe, and hope you guys enjoy my brilliant personality, and I will possibly be doing a prom vlog this weekend. We'll see, because I don't know how much I can vlog. I'll try to like vlog prom because I want memories. It's gonna be pretty fun because I'm going with my friends to like an Italian place, and I love pizza and spaghetti and shit, so should be nice. I think I'm gonna be allowed to wear the dress I want. We'll see. I'm either gonna look like a party seated Elsa or like a little pretty pink princess. And I really don't know which idea I hate more. Anyway, see you guys in another vlog. Bye.